evidence of an assault, but they did find a large group of youths. These youths were described by witnesses as being of African appearance.
Some cultures don't fit in well with ours. Some people from war zones, tribal, third world countries would struggle to do well here.
Home invasions and cars are stolen, and we just need to call it for what it is. Of course it's African gang violence.
I want to do whatever I want to do to get ahead in life, to win. And if that means hurting my friends, robbing my friends, at any cost, I will do what I need to do. I'm going to be selfish.
Narratives build our communities and build our sense of identity, who we are. The media started heavily reporting on the African community, which seemed like the first time that they were noticing us.
See me as a criminal. See me as someone with no future, with no hope. I'm 24 years old. I have 2 degrees and I work for corporate government. But you will never see that in the news.
The truth, the truth, the truth, the truth. What do they want? They want to hear the truth. Many things are impossible. God is not with disciples. I read the Bible in order to preach the gospel.
Hey guys, welcome to Give Us the Truth, and I'm excited to come today and to share something that's I think it's going to be amazing. Yeah, something that's going to be amazing, and I'm excited to present this to every single person, and it's going to be great. I know it's something that I've been waiting for a long time for. And I'm excited to have my brother again. He's like here every week now. Let's go, Sheladi, and welcome Sheladi again.
Yo, what's up, guys? Man, this might as well be the Sheladi and Emmanuel show, man.
Let's go.
The truth featuring Sheladi, man.
Yeah.
But it's always a pleasure to be on. And thank you for having me this time to talk about Reclaimed Voices. I don't know if that was just me, but could you hear the sound? Could you hear the background music on the trailer?
I don't know. Was it not on?
I couldn't hear it in my headphones, but maybe it was me. I'm not too sure.
I can hear it, but I don't know if everyone else can.
Okay, if you could hear it, maybe it was just me.
Yeah,
maybe it was just me. Hopefully.
No.
I'm like, did this guy put on voice isolation?
No, I don't know what happened. But hopefully the audience heard the noise and everything. But before we go anywhere, man, tell us about this movie or documentary that's coming out. Just tell us a little bit about it, and tell us even what do you have, or what? Sorry. Like, what were you working in on? How were you a part of this documentary? And yeah.
Well, how I got involved is actually a long story. So to start from the beginning, it actually starts off with Malau. He came on the show a few weeks ago. And it starts off with him having sort of an epiphany. So at the time, this is a few years ago, he was working for an infrastructure, like for a consultancy firm in the CBD. And he's in this big building, as you saw in the documentary trailer.
Yeah.
And he's thinking to himself, like, man, I made it. Like, I've finally arrived. But in that same moment, he's like, but what about my community? Where's the community going? And so that's what initially sparked Reclaimed Voices. So Malau then contacted Sobor.
Hey, just before you go, when was this? When did he have this epiphany?
So he was working there in 2022.
Okay, yep.
So this has been an idea for a very long time.
Yep.
It hasn't been in the delivery process for a very long time, but it has been an idea for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And so there was even like a shorter version that was made. If you look through the AYI's Instagram, the
Yeah.
original thing, it's not even like, it's more like, do you know Delafe Testimonies? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's more like that. It's just Sabu sitting down. He's just getting interviewed. He's in the middle of the camera,
Yeah.
and they're using an iPhone, and they're like, "We're good to go," and
Hey.
we'll upload it.
Hey, hey, Saber, if you have time, man, I would love to have you here and just talk about your story and even talk about this. Yeah, shout out to Saber.
Hey, shout out to Sabu, man. Hey, Sabu went on a world tour. You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
I feel like Sabu's gonna have so many opportunities to speak in so many different places, so many different schools. Man, God is gonna use him in incredible ways. So
Amen.
that's exciting
Amen.
for him. We
Amen.
hope that his testimony can touch hundreds of African young people in Australia and any young people for that matter.
Amen.
But anyways, yeah. So Malay has this epiphany, and he's talking to Sobo about it, and then it becomes an idea.
Yeah.
And then last year, this is when I started getting into media, right?
Yeah.
Last year I was getting into media. It was kind of interesting. It all started because Mark wouldn't let me use his camera. So I was like, let me buy my own. So I got into media because of that. And then I did an event for AYI. It was their youth forum.
Yeah.
And then after that, you kind of realize like, man, you can actually make money from this.
Yeah.
So I started doing more media projects, like trying to make money on the side from, doing videography.
Hey, let's go. No more lawyer. Yeah. You're not a lawyer anymore.
Hey, I'm still a law student, but like, yeah, I was like, oh, this is fun. Like the cameras are so cool. I was getting into it, and then late last year, we found out that they were doing a documentary, right? Like AYI was doing a documentary, and this is before I was like officially a part of AYI.
Yeah, and just before you go, like I think a lot of people don't know what is AYI.
AYI, yeah.
Yeah.
So African Youth Initiative is a non-for-profit organization that basically runs programs and different events to engage African young people who are disengaged or who don't like, to help them find their identity, to help them feel a part of the community, and just to basically educate young people and mentor them and guide them and things like that. And yeah, it's a non-for-profit organization, so do a lot of community work. Yeah.
Okay, sorry for interrupting you, man. But yeah,
Nah, that's
go
all
ahead.
good. So me and Mark, we approached them. We actually filmed an interview.
Yeah.
We filmed an interview of my little brother, and we sent it to the team, and we said, look, we did this in 5 minutes. Imagine what we could do if we had more time.
Yeah. And your brother, you're talking about Zach, yeah?
Yeah, I'm talking about Zach, my
Hey,
little
let's
brother.
go. Let's go, Zach.
So we didn't even have a proper light. I used like a lamp, like one of those, literally like I bought something like that.
Yeah.
So we treated it professionally. Like we gave them a proposal. We're like, hey, we think we can do it. We can do interviews. It's simple. We gave them a pitch, and then they put us on board. So we were on board as the videographers, but later on we got bigger roles as the media project officers. So although it wasn't our idea, like we would meet every week to write the script, to write the story. How are we going to present Saba's story? How are we going to present the documentary? And we looked at the things that had been done before us, because if it's not broken, don't fix it. And there's a saying that says you don't have to reinvent the wheel. We want to do something, so we wanted to use things that worked. And we watched this documentary. It's called The Truth About Crime in Melbourne. The Truth About African Crime in Melbourne. And basically, we felt like it put black people in a bad light. Even though it said that the media representation was overhyped and people were going crazy, we felt as though the lasting impression that people had was that, black people are still crazy, black people are still asking for free handouts, things like that. And so I remember Sobo and I were talking one day, and we were like, why don't we do a sort of response documentary?
Yeah.
So responding to all the media portrayal, media representation that we saw for a very long time in Melbourne, about African gangs, about Apex, Menace to Society, and all these other things that were basically saying like Africans didn't have a future in Australia, and that we needed to deport Africans, um, because they were a problem to society, treating us like outsiders and things like that. And yeah, that obviously does have a lot of effects on young people if the only time they see people who look like them is when they're in a criminal trial,
Yeah. Yeah.
or when they've vandalized the store, or they're robbing people, another home invasion, another carjacking. If the only time you ever see black people on the news is when they're committing crime, as a white person, you start thinking about black people in a certain way.
Yeah.
And as a young black person, you start thinking about yourself in a certain type of way. Oh, that's what they think I am.
Yeah.
So if that's what they think I am, how can I prove them wrong? They already, So yeah, a lot of young Africans struggle with that, and it helps them. It makes it even easier for them to commit crime and live that life, because yeah, that's what you were expecting anyway. They're just proving you right.
Yeah. So yeah, it sounds like a lot of the idea for this movie comes out of a response to the documentary that you guys watched before. And what's the key thing that you feel like you guys are the key thing that you guys are responding to?
We're responding to a lot. We're responding to the idea that people feel like oh, if I've been in the justice system, then I don't have a future. And often parents can feel like that. Often parents can think there's no more hope for my children, or my children are like the others. And they can feel lost and confused because, like if your kid's getting in trouble with the police and they're not listening, you're beating them, they're not listening, they're going to prison, they're coming back, they're going back into prison. You can feel hopeless, but we want to send a message of hope, one, to African parents, that even if your children are living that life, don't lose hope, because your children need you to believe in them when nobody else believes in them. But if you give up, who's going to believe in them? God will never forsake us, but we need people on earth, that will sow into us, that will encourage us and uplift us, when everyone else is doubting us. And then it's also to employers, to people in high places, to say, hey, if you guys really want to make a change, you have to start giving Africans more opportunities. And the thing is, you might think to yourself, you got to work hard, you got to do this, you got to do that in order to get these opportunities. I can tell you now, a lot of people are in a lot of jobs, not because they worked hard, but because they're white and their dad or their great-grandfather worked hard. And now everyone in the family is blessed. And they all benefit, and they get a job regardless of whatever ATAR they get. They're going to get into that university regardless of whatever scores they get. Or they're going to get the tutoring, they're going to get the education because of the wealth that their family has in affording tutors and stuff like that. And it's to also show, like, us as young Africans, we can reach that same potential if we're given the chance, if we're put in these positions to be successful. But if the only times, we're thought of is when it comes to committing crime, if somebody's if someone's a recruiting manager and they see Dang, but last night he heard Dang just robbed the store, you know what I mean? And yeah, so that's another person that we respond to, is the recruiters, and also the general public, who think that young Africans aren't doing anything, like we're just doing bad, we're just causing havoc. You know, we're menaces to society. The thing is, I think there's definitely truth to a lot of the claims. Like, there are young Africans who do vandalize, who do carjackings, who do hurt each other. You know, there are a lot of deaths in the community where we're killing each other.
Yeah.
And it's not to take away from that, because there is truth in that, and we can't pretend that it's not true.
Yeah.
But what we're trying to show is we're the fathers.
Yeah.
You know, fathers aren't in these homes. Whereas in South Sudan, maybe, or in African communities, it's the community that would raise your children. In Australia, parents, you have to raise your children.
Yeah.
You know? So it's to show that although there is crime, there's drivers to these crimes that cause people to commit them. For example, nobody just wakes up and commits adultery.
Yeah.
You have to have lust in your heart first. It has to be fully conceived, and then you commit the act. You don't just wake up one day and you're like, oh, how did I get in this woman's bed? You know? It never happens that way. So we're trying to show that actually there's step 1, 2, 3, 4, and then crime. It's not just crime because they're black, which is what some people might think. So parents, job recruiters, general public, and lastly, to young people who feel trapped.
Yeah.
Young people who feel like they have no hope. Young people who feel like, you know, I'm done. This is my life. This is all that I know. How could I ever change? It's also to show them that change is possible. There is hope. There are people who care about you. There are people who will help you on your journey. And you can fulfill your full potential in life. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And something that I've been thinking about is one of the main drivers, even for AYI, was the death of Machar and Khan. And something I've been thinking about is Jesus' death.
Yeah.
Jesus died so that we could have life. And in a way, because of Machar and Khan's death, many young people will experience a life they might not have had because of the work that AYI is doing.
Yeah.
Because of the work that God is doing through AYI. And so we even see like the power of the cross in that story, because that's a huge part of the documentary as well. The passing of Machar and Khan.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a brief synopsis and overview of like who the documentary is for, and things like that.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm excited to go and watch all these things that you pointed out too, and just thinking about, you shared a little bit about the writing and all that, and how did you get all these things to come together and send like one message, or a kind of a message to that that defines all these people that you wanna send a message to. So how did you guys just have this writing and have share these things to all these people?
That's a great question. I would say it's much like a uni assignment or an essay or a story. If you were just to write a story, it's like you can have so many ideas and it doesn't lead you anywhere, because at the start we actually hit a block. Like, we had so many ideas, but we didn't know what to do. Like, we know what we want to do, but how are we going to do it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I want a story about a superhero who blah, 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 blah. But now how do I actually write that down? And I think, like, for us, a lot of the things we just started doing, and then everything else figured itself out. Because we had spent so much time reviewing documentaries, reviewing articles, doing research, And yeah, like you get to a point where you're like, man, like we don't know what to do. But it's like, let's just do something. Let's just start with something. So even the idea to have it as a response documentary, although there's a lot of themes like that, that wasn't the whole documentary. So it was a response, not to. So initially we said we're going to respond to a documentary.
Yeah.
Instead, we just responded to media portrayal. So even like that initial idea isn't what ended up happening towards the end. Because we started having, it was like a catalyst for more ideas, better improvements. And yeah, like, I think we've, like, the staff, so those working on the project, I think we've watched this like 30 times. So, for example, if Saba is saying something in the documentary, I could tell you what he's going to say. You can stop it, and I can tell you what he's going to say. And the crazy thing is, even if anyone's watching this from the documentary team, even a lot of the things that I've been saying is actually what's on the documentary. So, like, even the way that I'm talking about media portrayal, they're like, wait a minute, isn't that what Saba said in the thing, or what Saba said? Because it's so deeply
don't give us too much, yeah?
Yeah, it's so deeply ingrained in my mind. It's like it's so hard to get out. But that's the power of voice, of having a voice and hearing that perspective coming from the African community. And like the reason why we're called Reclaim Voices is because the media was able to write our narrative as gangs, as people with no hope, as people who were menaces to the society. But it's like with this documentary, we're actually able to reclaim our voice. We're going to tell our story from our perspective.
Yeah.
And something that makes us different is there's no white man behind the camera.
Yeah.
Even though Mark is white.
Hey, Mark is not white, man.
Hey,
Mark
shout
is
out
not
to
white.
Mark, man. He's from Egypt. He's like us. But what I mean when I say there's no white man behind the camera is this isn't made by the Herald Sun. This isn't made by the Victorian government. So there's certain like things that we can't say to please the government. No, this is made by African young people for African young people, and obviously the wider community. So you don't have to think, oh, like they're gonna be filtered down or watered down. Like we go hard. And like there's a lot of things that will make you think. Like even in the trailer where Malau says, all we see is crime, apex. Actually, that's in the documentary, not even in the trailer.
Don't give us the...
Malau says, yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard. I've seen it so many times. Malau says in the trailer, he says, I work for corporate government. I have 2 degrees, but you will never see that on the news.
Yeah.
And so things like that were unfiltered.
Yeah.
And yeah, we share how it is. And we also talk about the downsides of life, like Saba shares his testimony and how he used to live a life that isn't necessarily pleasing to God. I know that this is a Christian platform, so I'm not going to be 100%,
Yeah, you don't have to water down anything.
Yeah, I don't have to water down anything. No, and that's the crazy thing is about the documentary is this is a Christian testimony. Yeah. Even where it was filmed, we filmed it in a church. Yeah. You can see a cross for like 40% of the film. There's so many motifs, images of the cross of Jesus. 3 of Sabi's songs made the documentary. We even filmed a music video. We filmed 2 music videos just for the documentary.
Yeah. And I think I saw the old spot that we used to have the men's fellowship on the document.
Yeah, exactly. So that orbital shot, that's where we did the documentaries. That's where men's fellowship happens.
Yeah.
And men's fellowship made it in the documentary. Everything. And I think Saba says 3 times throughout the documentary that it was only because of God that he had to try Jesus. And at the end, he tells people, he says, How did I change? There's only one answer. It's the same answer. It was Jesus. And that's how the documentary ends.
And
So
is that something that you guys were thinking about when you guys were doing the documentary and filming and preparing for it? Was it going to be like some sort of gospel kind of thing into the movie?
yeah, I think we were careful not to, scare people away.
Yeah.
But we gave in enough for you not to be confused that this is definitely like this is Christian. Like it definitely has its marks of a Christian film, but we also wanted to reach government and things like that. So there's like there's Christian themes throughout the documentary, but it isn't the only thing that is spoken about. And often Sabe would talk about Jesus as a passing comment.
Yeah.
So in the end, he's like, okay, when it was time to change, what did I do? I said, let me try Jesus.
Yeah.
And when he finally did change, like the thing that made him change, he realized this has to be God. So we were unapologetic in terms of having his real authentic testimony, not saying, oh, like I just started thinking positively about myself and, I decided to change my life. Because he could have said that. He could have said, I was at a crossroad and I decided, nah, I need to change my life. But even before the interview, we told him, you can say whatever you want. Talk about your faith as much as you want. This is your story.
Yeah.
And that's what we mean by the authenticity about Reclaim Voices. There's no white man behind the camera saying, oh, maybe try not to talk about Jesus so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just authentically, as real as you can. What is your story? Yeah.
Yeah, and can you? I know it took you guys. I don't know how long it took you guys. Just tell us how long it took you guys, and give us some moments that you remember while you taking videos of the interviews and all that. Just give us some memories behind screen.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh man. I think overall the project's life cycle was about like 10 months, I think. But we only really started like completely working on it at the start of January.
Yeah.
And we started filming in April.
Yeah.
The first filming day, so because we tried to so we had a few practice sessions, and we actually filmed. We filmed, man. I think we filmed like maybe like 200 hours of film.
Yeah.
It's insane, man. Oh my gosh, the amount of filming that we did is crazy. Because we didn't just sit down. We went to Sabe's. Man, should I even? Nah, let me not spoil it. But let's just say this is like a real documentary. We actually followed Sabe's life, and we followed the lives of the people that are in the story. So one of the most memorable days was the first day of actual filming. So when we filmed Sabe's interview and Antipas's interview, I think Mark and we started at we both woke up. I think he woke up before me. I think he woke up at 4:30. I think I woke up at 5 a.m. We got to the church at 6 a.m. We left the church 1 a.m. the next day.
Wow.
It was the craziest day ever. I think we worked like 18 hours.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was crazy. I'd never done an 18, 17 hour shift. Like, tell AYI to pay me, man. Overtime.
Hey, they're watching this, yeah?
Yeah. Because we did how many interviews? We did Sabe, we did Antipas, we did Samuel, we did Malau, we did Dang, all in one day. So 5 interviews in one day. Oh my days. So we had to set up the equipment and move it 5 different times.
Well,
Oh my gosh, it took so long. But it was all worth it. Like it's all worth it in the end. God is gonna be glorified. But that was the most memorable because of how long it took. Like, yeah, it was crazy.
yeah.
Um,
And
I think
I just want to tell everyone that's watching, if you want to see this documentary, like and comment something there, and I'm gonna just pick a random from there and give you 2 tickets for you and your friend. So if you do want to watch this, like and comment. And sorry, man, keep going.
no, shout out to Emmanuel giving out tickets on the page, man. Really appreciate your support. But yeah, that day was most memorable.
Yeah.
And that was just a filming day. I think the other days that were most memorable as well was when we would watch it. So what we would do is we'd have dinner at my house, and then we'd watch and review the videos together, and like kind of discuss where things should go,
Yeah.
what we should include, what we shouldn't include. Because the documentary goes for an hour. We did Sabir's interview for 2 hours. That's just one person.
Well,
So think about that. Antipas's interview, I think his entire interview was 45 minutes. The whole documentary is 1 hour. Malau's interview was 20 minutes. Sobo's interview was 10 minutes. Rebel's interview was 10 minutes. So all these people that get interviewed, there's other people I didn't mention as well.
yeah.
No, you got to keep some secret.
Let's go.
All the people that we interviewed for like 10 minutes to 2 hours.
Yeah.
The documentary is only an hour, so it's like there's so much footage for you to review, and like there's only so much that you can have and keep people engaged, keep people interested.
Yeah.
And actually, I said Sabir was 2 hours. Realistically, everything that he spoke, I think maybe it was 2 hours and 40 minutes. But I won't say why, because gotta save something for Saturday.
No, that's good.
But
That's
yeah.
good. That's good.
But that's not how long he speaks for in the documentary.
Yeah.
You don't see the hidden hours. You don't see how much footage we actually have. But yeah, those were the memorable things. Coming to my house, eating popcorn, eating candy, talking about the movie, watching it for the first times ourselves and being like, wow, this is real. This is legit. Like, we're actually going to make a difference.
Let's go.
And just being proud of the work that you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's one of the most fulfilling things that you can do.
Yeah.
And we have had people review. So, for example, today we had the minister. So this is the Minister of Victoria for victim support. So these are big parliament members.
Yep.
Like what? Like how did he even hear about AYI? He came to the AYI office. Yeah, and the Minister of Melton, the Parliament member of Melton, he came as well, and they came and they watched 15 minutes of the documentary.
Yeah.
And even they were astonished. They really enjoyed it. They couldn't watch the whole thing because, busy people.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this is gonna be epic. This is gonna be amazing. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, you're making us all excited to watch it, man. And was there any funny moments?
Sorry, I got ice in my mouth.
Caught you, man. I caught you.
Yeah, I thought you might speak for a while. I think the funniest thing probably was during shooting. Like, there was a time where I was doing Malau's interview.
Yeah.
And I was asking
Has to be
him
Malau, yeah?
questions. Yeah. I was doing Malau's interview, so I was the one asking him the questions.
Yeah.
And I couldn't stop laughing. I couldn't stop laughing. He would say, my name is... So I'd be like, what's your name and where are you from?
Hey, he said, don't
And
expose him.
No, and he'd pause. Oh, Malau's watching?
Yeah.
Yeah, Malau, let me expose you. So I'd be like, what's your name and where are you from? And Malau's just looking into space like, like, bro, you forgot your name? So I'm like, I just kept laughing. And even the big mirror scene that you guys see where he's like looking, I don't know if you guys have seen Suits, but he's looking like Harvey Specter. He's looking like the Batman or something. Looking down Gotham City, man. Like, whoa. It's this awesome thing. But when he's speaking about it in the interview, when I interviewed him, he's like, I realized, man, I'm a black man in a suit. And I'm like, you expect me to keep a straight face? What do you got? Like, what does that have to do with anything? How many black people have worn suits? But like, but yeah, that was probably the funniest thing. They actually ended up kicking me out of the room.
They kicked you out.
I had to leave. They kicked me out. And I came back like 20 minutes later after like the interview was done halfway.
Yeah.
And I had to try to keep a straight face, man. But that was probably one of the funniest days of my life. Yeah, it was hilarious. Hopefully we'll release the bloopers so you guys can see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Hey, we need to, man.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Any other moment you want to share?
Oh man, what else was funny? I think the other funny thing. Oh, it's not really funny. Nah, I can't do no. Is it funny or is it more like an internal thing? So I think the other funny thing maybe was in filming, we had a clock scene, right? And the time was wrong. So on someone's phone, it showed one time, but then on the wall clock that we also filmed, it showed a completely different time, like 3 hours off. And we spent weeks debating, arguing, should we keep it? Should we change it? I'm like, man, I don't want to film it again. Like, and so they just ended up, Mark just ended up filming it again, filming a different scene. The funny thing was, when Mark filmed it again, he got the time wrong.
He got it wrong again?
He got it wrong again. And I was like, what? And then, then he went back and he changed it. Hey, if anybody can find out what scene I'm talking about,
mission now.
I'll give you a pat on the shoulder.
Hey, that's a mission. That's a mission now. Everyone that's watching, you got to get that.
Yeah. I'll come to me and I'll give you a prize. 100%. Actually, we can do a shoe giveaway. 100%.
Oh, let's go.
So the
Jordan Force? Jordan Force?
I actually have the box right. I don't know if you can hear me. I got the box right here. So
hey, let's see.
It's almost like God was watching. Look at these.
What size? What size?
US 10.
US
New
10.
Balances.
Oh, nice.
Some nice New Balances. This is what the young kids are into these days. You know what I mean? I used to work at Foot Locker. Look at that. Brand new. I think I wore them like 0.5 times. So,
hey, give away, man.
If anybody can figure out what scene I'm talking about, all yours.
And if you want to watch it, all you have to do is like and comment, and you got a free ticket, and you might find this the scene that he's talking about, and you got free shoes as well. Let's go.
Hey, and those shoes are $250.
Not cheap.
Not cheap. Not cheap. Great quality, great material. I just have too many pairs. I got blue ones, I got purple ones, and I got light blue ones. So it's like, yeah.
And if you're part of the staff and you watch this, you're not in this, yeah?
Oh, definitely not. Is there staff members that are trying to say what it is? Oh my gosh. It's probably Malau because he's a shoe seller now.
Hey.
Shout out Malau. Hey guys, go support Malau's new business.
Let's go. Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's crazy. And what do you everyone that want to watch this movie on Saturday, like what message would you want to encourage them, what to expect and all that? Tell them a message before they go and watch this.
What message? Man, it's hard to tell you an answer without stealing Saba's words. Because the team might have watched it 30 times, but Mark and I probably watched it like 150 times because we have to edit every scene over and over and over and over again, cut it here and there. I think to everyone that's going to come, I think it's going to be better than what you're expecting. But I think also come ready to receive. I think it's going to be a night of hope, a night of inspiration, a night of change. And yeah, I think like in the title, literally, we're going to reclaim our voices and to steal the words from some of the people in the documentary. I think it's going to start a movement, a movement in our community that sees more young Africans, more South Sudanese Africans thriving in the Australian community. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, man, and I can't wait. And can you tell us where we can watch this movie? Where is it at?
It's just down the road from my house. No, I'm just kidding. It's it's gonna be at Melton Reading Cinemas. So this is legit, guys.
It's not in the house, yeah? It's not in the house.
It's no one's house. This is not at some community center. It's not at some, library. No, this is in cinemas. Yeah. We're gonna watch it on the big screen because it's legit. We're gonna have important people there, people from the Department of Justice, people from the minister of Melton. He bought tickets, but who knows if he's gonna come.
Nah, he'll come.
We see everyone who buys tickets. So there's gonna be important people there. There's gonna be a lot of friends and family and community members there, and this is gonna be like Black Panther when all the Africans gathered together. Yeah. We all wore traditional African clothing. Yeah. So it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be special. They've never seen that many black people. They're gonna think that it's a game.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
The new Apex.
Why is there so many black people in one space? That's what's gonna happen on Saturday. I believe it's 250 plus seats. We're almost at capacity. We're almost sold out. So get your tickets while they're still there. And yeah, you don't want to miss out because everyone's gonna be talking about it. 100%.
Yeah, and just with my giveaway again. So if you do want to watch this, you don't have to pay. All you have to do is just comment and like. You can even comment giveaway, and I'll just pick one of you guys and give you 2 tickets. So it's not just for you. You can bring someone that's special to you, or a friend, or whoever that you want to bring, and it's going to be exciting, And I want to encourage everyone that's watching, please don't miss this. And let's sell out the whole cinema, and let's go and support our community and see this inspirational movie that will inspire you to not just settle with what you hear in the news that us as black people we're just criminals. No, we can impact Australia. We can change Australia. I just want to encourage you. Don't miss out. Don't miss out. Make this an important time at Raiders Cinema in Melton. Hey, you didn't even tell us what time.
6 to 8:30.
6 to 8:30. Come on now. 6 to 8:30.
So that's the Eventbrite. I think. Yeah, it's 6 to 8:30. You don't want to be late. There's not going to be there's not going to be like, oh, I missed this one. Let me go watch it on YouTube later. It might never go on YouTube. So if you miss any of it, that's on you.
So it's not showing again. It might not show again.
It might show at another cinema, but we don't know yet.
Yep.
We don't know yet. Yeah.
Hey, so
We're gonna. Yeah.
let's sell out so we can put in another cinema as well.
100%. 100%.
So, hey, just before we go, I just want to give you this moment. Any last word that you want to say to the audience?
I just want to say, just give a big shout out to the team that worked on the project. Sobor, Mark, Malau, Abak, Rebel. And I also want to shout out to all the people who helped along the way. So Zach with the first few interviews, Moon, um, Duoth, who was also with us, who helped out, Saber, who has been incredibly graceful with his time, and just helping us to get as much content as possible. Daniel, Geber Medin, and Taylor for the food. Shout out to my mom who would help prepare dinner for us as we watched it at our house, and all my little siblings who would keep us company, especially my little brother, my youngest
Let's
brother.
go, Zach.
No, Isaac. I got
Isaac,
a baby brother.
Oh,
So
okay,
yeah,
okay,
he was
okay, yeah.
he was the center of attention. My grandma, Benny. Who else should I shout out?
Auntie. Hey, Malau said
Oh,
auntie,
man.
man.
Oh, I think I shouted out my mom already. Yeah. Oh, that's why he's saying auntie. Yeah. Man, who else am I missing? Dang Lueth. Who else? Antipas, Samuel Sokama, Steven from Overdrive Music. My older brother who helped us with the sound engineering. All the boys at Men's Fellowship. Man, too many names to even start counting there. Shout out to Men's Fellowship. But yeah, once again, just big shout out to our team, who met week in, week out. I feel like I'm traumatized. Every time we don't have a meeting on Wednesdays, I feel like, shouldn't I be doing something? Because I'm telling you, for 6 months, every Wednesday night, we met to talk about Reclaim Voices. Yeah. Whether we were watching it at my house or we had a Zoom meeting, or we just had a general meeting. The whole team gave us countless days, and this was a project where we got paid, but was it for 6 months? So a lot of volunteer work, which shows how much we really valued this project, how close it was to our hearts, that we were willing to work on this and put countless hours, weeks, months, sweat, tears, miss out on other things that were important to us so we could get this done and so we could bless the community. So once again, I'll just shout out the team for all their incredible work, all the hard work. Shout out to Mark, the soundtrack guy, doing all the sounds and stuff like that. Whenever you feel if you feel something during the cinema because of the music, know that it was Mark behind the soundtracks. And Soba's story writing, man. She actually did a bachelor's degree in journalism. Man, we didn't even know. Wow. She's written a whole book as well. So having her on the team was incredible. She's the one who formulated all the interview questions. She's the one who did most of the interviews, and things like that. And shout out to Abak, who did most of our promos, who did our merchandise, and other things like that. And she worked closely with Sobor. And man, once again, shout out to Sobor. She was the one that was organizing all the meetings, week in, week out, doing notes, taking care of the budget. Man, without the whole team, none of this would have been possible. And Malau, who was he was with us every step of the way, and he didn't get a dime for it. So you could see how close it was to his heart. yeah, he was an unpaid volunteer. So shout out to Malau as well. And he kind of dabbled in every field. So giving direction, doing interviews, helping with meetings. Yeah, and just being a general presence because, yeah, like we said at the start, it was his original epiphany that got us moving with this project to begin with. So, yeah. And shout out to Rebel, the best CEO in the world.
Let's go.
I'm coming for your job. No, I'm kidding. Nah, but yeah, shout out to Rebel and shout out to the whole of AYR, to be honest. And also want to give thanks to the Department of Justice and all our other sponsors and things like that. But yeah, that's all.
No. And I just want to say thank you, Sheladi, for coming down and inspiring us to go out and watch this amazing movie that you guys took time to. And I just want to appreciate everyone that had a hand in this documentary. And I pray that God will bless you guys. And I thank every person that's watching right now. And I just want to thank you for taking time to watch this. And I pray that this inspired you to go out and support this amazing work that our brothers have done. And don't forget about the giveaway. I just want to give it away. So, and I know it will be a blessing to you. So I just want to say thank you and God bless you guys.
They couldn't find any evidence of an assault, but they did find a large group of youths. These youths were described by witnesses as being of African appearance.
Some cultures don't fit in well with ours. Some people from war zones, tribal, third world countries would struggle to do well here.
Home invasions and cars are stolen, and we just need to call it for what it is. Of course it's African gang violence.
I want to do whatever I want to do to get ahead in life, to win. And if that means hurting my friends, robbing my friends, at any cost, I will do what I need to do. I'm going to be selfish.
Narratives build our communities and build our sense of identity, who we are. The media started heavily reporting on the African community, which seemed like the first time that they were noticing us.
See me as a criminal. See me as someone with no future, with no hope. I'm 24 years old. I have 2 degrees and I work for corporate government. But you will never see that in the news.
Yeah, fam. Yeah, I'm with you. I got it. I'm with you. Give us the truth.